Shaquille O'Neal and Kobe Bryant were cordial and friendly to each other, especially in the preceding years after the former's retirement, with O'Neal even urging Bryant courtside to score 50 points when it was the latter's time to play his final NBA game in 2016. Bryant ended up finishing the game with 60, capping off his 20-year Hall of Fame career to the delight of O'Neal and everyone who watched it. But before all that, the animosity between the two, especially during those Lakers championship years, was the talk of the town and was dominating the sports headlines regularly. Personal differences and arguments over their respective roles on the Lakers resulted in an NBA Finals loss against the Detroit Pistons in 2004 and was followed by a trade that sent O'Neal to the Miami Heat in 2004. Today, we'll talk about the legendary Shaq-Kobe beef, the real reasons behind it that many people didn't know, and how deep it really was. O'Neal and Bryant won 3 consecutive NBA championships together in 2000, 2001, and 2002 and made an additional NBA Finals appearance in 2004, with O'Neal winning the Finals MVP in each of their championship victories. In 1996, the Los Angeles Lakers acquired the draft rights to a high school player named Kobe Bryant from the Charlotte Hornets for established center Vlade Divac. After freeing up cap space by parting with other veteran players, they signed superstar free agent center Shaquille O'Neal to a 7-year, $121 million contract later that year. And even though they arrived at the same time, it was clearly O'Neal's team, as Bryant was still gradually trying to prove he was also a superstar. Signs of friction were already showing in their first 3 seasons of playing together from 1996 to 1999. O'Neal told the Lakers when Bryant arrived, "I'm not gonna be babysitting," while Bryant kept his teammates at a distance, answering non-basketball questions with 1- or 2-word responses. Bryant had extreme confidence in his ability, which was unusual for an 18-year-old, even going as far as boasting that he would lead the Lakers in scoring and become the best player in the NBA as a rookie. While O'Neal's personality was good-humored, Bryant's demeanor was all business and was regularly interpreted by many of his teammates as selfishness and his confidence as arrogance. In fact, O'Neal began calling Bryant a showboat because of his flashy offensive moves. For the first couple of years, Kobe mostly came off the bench, but even at that early stage, he showed flashes of both the brilliance and the me-first attitude that he'd become known for. In an overtime loss to the Utah Jazz during the 1997 playoffs that eliminated the Lakers, O'Neal fouled out with 2 minutes remaining in regulation. Lakers coach Del Harris then designed the Lakers offense around the rookie Bryant when O'Neal fouled out, who went on to shoot 4 air balls. During the 1997-98 season, Bryant was assigned by the Lakers to play in the NBA Summer League to improve as a team player and learn where to send the ball when he drew double teams. He was voted as a starter in the 1998 All-Star Game, although he was still a reserve on the Lakers squad. The team struggled after the All-Star break, losing 7 of their first 12 games, and Bryant had a stretch where he made only 30 of 100 shots. O'Neal wanted a championship immediately, and he did not want to wait for Bryant to mature as a player. Bryant's playing time was reduced and the Lakers were eliminated in the 1998 playoffs. The Lakers' lockout-shortened 50-game season included the firing of Harris, the interim head coaching stint of Kurt Rambis, and a brief period with Dennis Rodman as a player. During the lockout, O'Neal and Bryant were scouring the city of Los Angeles for open gyms to stay in shape. One day, the two ended up in the same open gym, playing pickup against one another. The run in question would become the foundation of the Shaq and Kobe beef. O'Neal, Bryant, Derek Fisher, and Corey Blunt played a 2-on-2 basketball game. The game became heated with Bryant saying words like how O'Neal was not a leader and that the Lakers were his team now. It ended with O'Neal slapping Bryant hard in the face and a scuffle ensued. Cooler heads eventually prevented it from worsening even more. During the season, the Lakers blamed their problems on what they felt was Bryant's selfish play. At one point, O'Neal pointed at Bryant and told reporters in the locker room, "There's the problem." At that time, Bryant's jerseys were outselling O'Neal's in Southern California sporting goods stores, and rumors started that O'Neal was jealous, as he was with Penny Hardaway when they played together for the Orlando Magic. "That's far from the truth," countered Fisher. All Shaq wants to do is win. O'Neal also thought interim head coach Rambis favored Bryant too much, especially when Rambis asked O'Neal, the veteran team leader, to make the initial move to heal the rift and talk to Bryant, to which O'Neal reportedly gave him a blank, cold stare. The rift between O'Neal and Bryant continued into that year's playoffs. While the Lakers defeated the Houston Rockets in the first round, they were swept by eventual champs San Antonio Spurs in the second round. During the 1999 offseason, then GM Jerry West and Lakers owner Jerry Buss agreed to sign Phil Jackson, who was only 1 year removed from his sixth championship with the Chicago Bulls, to a 5-year, $30 million contract to be the team's new head coach entering the 1999-2000 season. Buss was previously a believer in spending conservatively on coaches, but O'Neal and Bryant both encouraged West to hire Jackson. Upon taking over the head coaching job, Jackson then decided to make O'Neal the center point of the triangle offense, which made him responsible for distributing the ball, which kickstarts the offense. He also wanted better leadership, physical conditioning, and defense from O'Neal. Jackson, being the Zen master that he was, chose to develop a close relationship with O'Neal and not Bryant, calculating that O'Neal's personality craved such a relationship. Bryant missed the season's first 15 games due to a broken right wrist, allowing the Lakers to focus on O'Neal as Jackson had planned. The result of Jackson's plan was promising, as the team amassed a 67-15 record, one of the best records in league history. O'Neal led the league in scoring, averaging 29.7 points per game, and won his first NBA Most Valuable Player award. But it was in the 2000 Western Conference Finals that a defining moment of O'Neal and Bryant's on-court success together occurred. The Lakers were leading the Portland Trail Blazers 3-1 before dropping Game 5 at home and Game 6 in Portland. The Blazers were leading the decisive Game 7 by 15 points early in the fourth quarter, putting the Lakers on the brink of elimination before the team mounted a 25-4 rally to take the lead. The comeback run culminated as Bryant drove the lane and threw an alley-oop pass to O'Neal for a one-handed slam dunk, after which O'Neal ran upcourt with his mouth agape and both index fingers waving. Bryant extended his hand to O'Neal for a high five, but O'Neal and his celebration did not notice. The Lakers won the game 89-84, and the 13-point comeback after 3 quarters was the most in a Game 7 in the NBA playoffs. The Lakers went on to defeat the Indiana Pacers in 6 games and won their first NBA championship since 1988. In the ensuing celebration, Bryant was the first person to embrace O'Neal. The season was not without confrontation, as O'Neal in one team meeting said, "I have something to say. I think Kobe is playing too selfishly for us to win." O'Neal felt pressure to be the leader of the team and was upset with Bryant's shot selection. Teammate Ron Harper, also a member of the legendary Bulls, who Jackson has brought along, helped mediate the differences between the two. During All-Star warm-ups in that season's All-Star game, O'Neal mimicked Bryant's crossover dribble but threw the ball into the stands to accentuate Bryant's turnovers. O'Neal later said it was an inside joke between him and Kobe, but everyone who knows what's going on behind the scenes knew better. Jackson and Tex Winter, the legendary inventor of the triangle offense, relied on the triangle to help heal the relationship between O'Neal and Bryant. The coaches believed that the offense was so structured, it could help smooth over the relationship between the two players on the court. But it didn't help at all. In 2001, the Lakers won the title again. However, the feud between O'Neal and Bryant was worsening by the day. O'Neal came into training camp out of shape, which disappointed Jackson and also Bryant, who worked hard over the offseason to improve his game. Bryant was leading the league in scoring as 2001 began, and Jackson said Bryant was playing the best ball of his career. Meanwhile, O'Neal was shooting below 50% during stretches, and his free throw shooting was in the 20% range. O'Neal said of the Lakers in early January 2001, alluding to Bryant's gunslinger style of play, "When it was clear that everything went through me, the outcome of it was 67-15, playing with enthusiasm, the city jumping up and down, and a parade. Now we're 23-11. You figure it out. I don't know why anybody else would want to change other than for selfish reasons." Bryant responded that it was a different year and the roster had undergone some changes and things change, things evolve, and you just have to grow with that change. Bryant was criticized for forcing his offense and not involving his teammates enough. Even O'Neal's stepfather, Sergeant Philip Harrison, was overheard yelling at Bryant to pass the ball during a game. Bryant even told Jackson that this triangle offense is so simple that it doesn't display his talents and it doesn't give him what he needs to elevate his game to the next level. According to Bryant, it was the team's defense that was the problem and not his increased role in the offense. Bryant said that scoring shouldn't affect O'Neal's defense, while O'Neal maintained that if the big dog ain't me, then the house won't get guarded. Period. The Lakers won their last 8 games to finish the regular season with 56 wins. O'Neal averaged 33.7 points over the final 11 games. The Lakers won their second championship in a row against the Philadelphia 76ers after a then-historic 15-1 postseason record. Not much was made public about the feud in the 2001-2002 season as the team was overshadowed by player injuries and national news. Despite the rocky season, the Lakers won their 3rd consecutive championship, defeating the New Jersey Nets in the finals 4-0. It was the Lakers' first championship sweep in their history, and O'Neal won his 3rd consecutive NBA Finals MVP. Bryant and O'Neal were complimentary of each other afterward. The 2002-2003 season began with the 3-time defending champions getting off to one of their worst starts. The team was 8 games under 500 and 11-19 with their return to the playoffs being questionable. O'Neal was sidelined with a degenerative arthritic condition in his toe. He could have had surgery early in the summer, which would have allowed him to return to playing sooner, but he decided to wait and have the surgery performed not long before the Lakers' preseason training camp began. He was later quoted by the media as saying, "I got hurt on company time, so I'll rehab on company time." During the season, Bryant had a 9-game streak where he scored at least 40 points and a 13-game streak where he scored 35 or better, but still shot the ball like a maniac and did not pay enough attention to team ball. Still, the relationship between O'Neal and Bryant remained peaceful at that point. The Lakers ended that season with the 5th seed in the Western Conference, failing to get home court advantage in the first round of the playoffs. They defeated the Minnesota Timberwolves in 6 games, but were eliminated and dethroned by eventual champion Spurs in the conference semifinals. The subsequent offseason included accusations and then charges of rape by Bryant in Colorado. On July 16, 2003, a little more than 2 weeks after the initial assault allegations, the Lakers announced the signings of veteran free agents and former All-Stars Karl Malone and Gary Payton, who were recruited by O'Neal. After the signings, the Lakers were widely considered the favorite to win the NBA title. O'Neal said that the past comments made to the press by him and by Bryant were almost like a game. They could handle it until the 2003-2004 season. But just prior to the season, Bryant privately warned Jackson, "If Shaq starts saying unreasonable things in the press, I'll fire back. I've had it." When training camp started, O'Neal famously remarked, "The full team is here," even though Bryant was absent from camp due to his legal situation and his recovery from knee surgery. Later, after sitting out an exhibition game to rest a sore left heel, O'Neal said, "I want to be right in the regular season for Derek, Karl, and Gary," to which he intentionally left off Bryant. Later on, when Bryant joined the Lakers in camp, O'Neal told reporters that Bryant should look to be more of a passer than a scorer until Bryant's knee was fully healed. Bryant responded that he knew how to play the guard position, and O'Neal should worry about the low post. O'Neal then fired back, "Just ask Karl and Gary why they came here. One person. Not two. One. Period." O'Neal agreed that Bryant could handle playing guard, but Bryant needed advice on how to play team ball. O'Neal added that he would voice his opinions as he saw fit because the Lakers were his team. He said that if Bryant, who was scheduled to become a free agent at season's end, didn't like what O'Neal had to say, Bryant should just opt out of his contract. O'Neal added, "I ain't going nowhere." In a subsequent interview with Jim Gray of ESPN, Bryant questioned O'Neal's claims of team leadership. Bryant claimed that O'Neal came into training camp fat and out of shape, that O'Neal blamed others for the team's defeats, and that O'Neal previously exaggerated the degree to which injuries had affected his game as a cover for simply being out of condition. Bryant criticized O'Neal's public lobbying for a contract extension when we have two future Hall of Famers in Karl Malone and Gary Payton playing here pretty much for free. He also criticized O'Neal for only taking responsibility when the team won and accused O'Neal of threatening not to put forth his best effort if he was not passed the ball more often. Bryant was also upset that O'Neal did not personally contact him amidst his legal troubles in the summer. Instead, O'Neal had his bodyguard, Jerome Crawford, call him. "Everyone knows Jerome is me," said O'Neal at that time, implying that the call to Bryant from his bodyguard was enough and was a representation of him. Lakers scout and former teammate Brian Shaw tried to mediate the conflict between O'Neal and Bryant once and for all. Shaw reprimanded O'Neal for yelling "Pay me" at Dr. Buss after dunking during a preseason game. Shaw then turned to Bryant and told him that Jackson allowed O'Neal time to recover from the physical pounding he endured every season, and it's not indicative of Jackson favoring the big fella. Bryant, still disappointed at the support he received over the summer, told O'Neal, "You're supposed to be my friend." But Shaw questioned why he would believe that when Bryant did not join the team for dinners on the road, failed to attend O'Neal's wedding though invited, and did not invite a single teammate to his own wedding. The Lakers started the season with a 21-3 record, and they started receiving accolades as the greatest NBA team ever. However, the Lakers lost Malone for 3 months to a knee injury, and their record started to spiral downward from there. During the All-Star break, Buss suspended contract negotiations with Jackson, who was seeking to double his salary from $6 million to $12 million on his expiring contract. The Lakers also suspended talks with O'Neal, who wanted an extension with a pay raise on his remaining 3 years for $30 million annually. The Lakers hoped O'Neal would take less money due to his age, physical conditioning, and games missed due to injuries. The Los Angeles Times wrote that both of the Lakers' moves were an obvious concession to Bryant. The Lakers slid towards mediocrity during the spring. Injuries hampered Los Angeles, keeping them as the 4th seed in the Western Conference midway through the season. In March, after Bryant received internal criticism about his shot selection, he scored just 1 point while taking 3 shots in the first half against Orlando, which the Lakers trailed by 11. He scored 37 in the second half and tied a team record with 24 in the fourth quarter as the Lakers won in overtime. Against Sacramento in April, Bryant took just 1 shot in the first half against tight defense. He finished the game with 8 points. An anonymous teammate told the LA Times, "I don't know how we can forgive him." The Lakers ultimately entered the playoffs as the 2nd seed, thanks to an overtime victory versus the Portland Trail Blazers on the final night of the season, due to a pair of buzzer beaters from Bryant. They defeated the Houston Rockets, the San Antonio Spurs, and the Minnesota Timberwolves before advancing to the 2004 NBA Finals, where they were considered a favorite to defeat the Detroit Pistons. However, after 5 games, the Lakers found themselves not only defeated but dominated by the Pistons, who won the NBA title. After the loss, the division between O'Neal and Bryant came to a head. At the news conference after the final game, O'Neal addressed the uncertainty around Jackson's now expired contract and Bryant's impending free agency, which meant that either or both might not return to the Lakers the following season. With regard to the problem of people possibly leaving the team, O'Neal said that everyone, including him, needed to do what was best for themselves. Eventually, Jackson, a favorite of O'Neal, was not offered a new contract by the Lakers. Many sports analysts and spectators assumed that this was because of Bryant, who had at times voiced displeasure with Jackson's offensive schemes. After learning of Jackson's departure and hearing Lakers general manager Mitch Kupchak say he would consider trading him, O'Neal demanded to be traded. He made it clear that he felt the Lakers organization was making moves designed primarily to placate Bryant, saying, "The direction they're going, I don't want to be a part of this." Bryant, meanwhile, was involved in discussions with the Los Angeles Clippers and other teams, increasing the pressure on the Lakers to choose between him and O'Neal. O'Neal's trade demand was soon indulged, as he was sent to the Miami Heat for Lamar Odom, Karen Butler, Brian Grant, and a first-round draft pick. A day after O'Neal was traded, Bryant re-signed with the Lakers for 7 years and $136 million, confirming what everybody suspected all along, that he was leveraging his free agency so that the Lakers move O'Neal first and not hire Jackson back before he re-signs with them. When interviewed by the media, Bryant said that he enjoyed playing for Jackson and with O'Neal, adding that he did not influence the Lakers' decisions regarding the two, which of course is untrue. Newspapers the next day criticized Bryant for his alleged manipulation of the team. Days later, news came out that Bryant made a reference to O'Neal and paying women for their discretion while being questioned by the police in 2003. According to reports, Bryant stated that he should have paid off his women to remain quiet, just like O'Neal. Bryant also stated that O'Neal paid women up to $1 million for their silence about their encounters with him. It was also reported that investigators had told O'Neal of Bryant's supposed statements shortly after the investigation had begun. O'Neal denied these claims, stating that Bryant had no idea about O'Neal's personal business since the two of them rarely spent any time together. O'Neal went as far as to say that he wasn't the one buying love, he was, a reference to Bryant's purchase of a multi-million-dollar diamond ring for his wife Vanessa, in the aftermath of the revelation that Bryant was unfaithful to her. In August 2004, the NBA scheduled the Lakers and the Heat to play on Christmas Day. The game registered the NBA's highest regular season television ratings since 1998. In the lead-up to the game, O'Neal referred to Bryant as a Corvette and himself as a brick wall in an interview with ABC's Al Michaels during halftime of Monday Night Football. Before the opening tip, Bryant and O'Neal did not talk but did greet each other by bumping forearms. During the game, Bryant was fouled by O'Neal several times, but the contacts were not excessive. O'Neal fouled out late in the fourth quarter, but the Heat still won the game in overtime, led by up-and-coming star Dwayne Wade. Bryant missed a potential game-winning shot as time expired. Bryant and O'Neal met on the court twice more during the season, once during the NBA All-Star Game and once more when the Lakers played the Heat on March 17, 2005. In the following season, Bryant and O'Neal did not engage in further public attacks. However, hard feelings were apparently still present when they refused to refer to each other by name while talking to the media. The Lakers and the Heat faced off again on Christmas Day in 2005, with the Heat winning the second time. Unlike last year, Bryant and O'Neal did not shake hands nor make eye contact with each other before and after the game. O'Neal said, "It was just another game to me." Bryant said, "I wasn't even thinking about it. It is what it is." According to Heat teammate Wade, when Shaq first arrived in Miami, his primary goal was to win a championship first before Bryant. He recalled that during the first season of O'Neal in Miami, when the Heat and the Lakers had identical regular season records, Shaq went berserk in the locker room and went nuclear on the team. They went into a 12-game winning streak and a 10-game winning streak after that outburst. O'Neal and the Heat won the NBA title in 2006. In his 2011 autobiography, Shaq Uncut, My Story, O'Neal wrote of the championship, "I had proven I could win anywhere, not just with some shot-happy guard in Los Angeles." When Bryant and the Lakers lost in the 2008 NBA Finals to the Boston Celtics, O'Neal got up to rap in front of the crowd at a party and started taking swipes at Bryant multiple times.
You know how I be. Last week Kobe couldn't do without me. You know how I be. Last week Kobe couldn't do without me. I call myself big, but I'm not as good as Biggie. I call myself, yeah, you couldn't do without me. Kobe, you couldn't do without me. Kobe, you can't do without me.
During the rap, O'Neal also blamed his divorce on Bryant's comments to investigators in 2004 about O'Neal paying off women. O'Neal later said he was freestyling and that it was all done in fun. Nothing serious whatsoever. Bryant later said that he didn't take O'Neal's rap personally and was totally cool with it. However, according to Lakers insiders, Bryant was furious upon seeing the video of Shaq's rap and carried it throughout the following season. At the 2009 NBA All-Star Game, O'Neal, Bryant, and Jackson were all reunited on the West squad. O'Neal and Bryant were both named co-MVP for the game and were shown laughing and hugging during the game. O'Neal told Bryant to keep the MVP trophy, but Bryant instead gave it to O'Neal's son. For O'Neal, Bryant's gesture marked a turning point in their relationship. In 2009, Bryant and the Lakers faced the Orlando Magic in the NBA Finals, winning the series in 5 games. Shaq showed support for Kobe on his Twitter page saying, "That's right, I am saying it today and today only. I want Kobe Bryant to get number 4, spread the word." After the Lakers once again won the title in Game 7 of the 2010 Finals, Bryant was asked what it meant to him personally. He responded,
"Just got one more to Shaq." So you can take that to the bank.
O'Neal later revealed to Bryant that he was privately furious after seeing Bryant win his 5th championship, and hearing Bryant's words about him has caused O'Neal to vandalize his own house in his anger. In 2011, when Shaq retired from the NBA, the on-court rivalry between Bryant and him essentially ended. The pair began to patch things up as the years went by, and O'Neal admitted he thought about the two reconnecting as they grew older. However, the 2020 helicopter crash that claimed the lives of Bryant, his 13-year-old daughter Gianna, and 7 others, prevented the former teammates from getting that chance. Shaq was among the devastated to be losing an old friend, someone he considered family, by the end of their feud. In the end, whatever happened between these two all-time greats will never diminish what they did together on the court. They were legendary. Just like their beef.